You probably know someone who has it all together on the outside. Great job, great social media, perfectly put together. But in private, they're exhausted, hollow, or falling apart. Maybe that person is you. Carl Jung had a name for the mask you perform for the world. He called it the persona, and he believed that when your persona becomes more real to you than your actual self, that's when the real suffering begins. The word persona comes from the Latin word for the masks that ancient Greek actors wore on stage. Each mask represented a different character: the hero, the villain, the fool. Jung borrowed this word because he noticed that every human being wears masks too. The professional mask you put on at work, the family mask you wear at Thanksgiving dinner, the social mask you wear when you're trying to make a good impression. These aren't bad in themselves. Every healthy person adapts their behavior to different contexts. You don't talk to your boss the same way you talk to your best friend. That's normal. The problem, Jung said, comes when you lose track of the fact that it's a mask. When you've worn the mask so long that you genuinely think it is you. When the performance becomes so constant that you forget there's a person underneath it. How do you know if your persona has taken over? Here are some signs that Jung's framework points to. First, you feel chronically exhausted, not physically, but existentially. Like you're constantly on, but never actually present. You're performing life rather than living it. Second, you struggle to answer the question, what do I actually want? Not because you haven't thought about it, but because you genuinely don't know. Your wants have been replaced with what I'm supposed to want. Third, positive feedback makes you feel worse, not better. Someone compliments your work, and instead of feeling good, you feel like a fraud. That's because the compliment is going to the persona, not to you. And some part of you knows the difference. Fourth, you feel most like yourself alone. Not lonely, alone. Because when there's no one to perform for, the persona drops, and for a brief moment, something more real surfaces. Your persona was built by other people's expectations and your need for their approval. Think back to your childhood. Which version of you got praised? Which version of you got punished, laughed at, or ignored? The praised version became your persona. You learned to lead with that, expand it, perfect it. The unpraised versions? They went into the shadow, which we talked about in the last video. This is why the persona and the shadow are inseparable. They're two sides of the same split. The bigger the mask you wear, the bigger the shadow underneath. Jung said the goal isn't to destroy the persona. You need it to function in society. The goal is to have a flexible relationship with it, to be able to put it on and take it off, rather than being fused with it. Here's a practice to try. Sit quietly for 5 minutes and ask yourself, who am I when no one is watching? Not what you do, but how you feel. What you notice, what you actually enjoy versus what you perform enjoyment of. Then ask, when was the last time I did something purely because I wanted to, with no audience? If you can't answer that easily, that's information. Start small. Let one genuine reaction show that you'd normally perform over. Tell one honest truth you'd usually smooth over. Notice what it feels like to be slightly less masked than usual. The persona is a survival tool. You built it for good reasons, but you don't have to wear it forever. Next video, I'm going to cover the part of Jung's work that I think is the most underrated concept in all of psychology: the anima and animus, the inner feminine and masculine that lives inside every one of us. If you've ever felt like there's a whole side of yourself you've never been allowed to explore, that video is for you. Like and subscribe if you want to go deeper. And let me know in the comments, what does your mask look like?